We use them every single day, right? But how often do we actually stop and think about what a computer is? Well, today we're going to pull back that curtain. We're deconstructing the computer system to see what really, truly makes it tick.
So, let me ask you that right now. Have you ever really wondered? When you picture a computer, you probably see a screen, a keyboard, maybe the box under your desk. But it is so much more than that. It's a whole ecosystem, and that is exactly what we are going to unpack today. Now, to really get a handle on what a computer system is, we first have to tackle that second word, system. What does that even mean? Let's start with the absolute basics. At its heart, a system is really just a bunch of individual parts that are all connected and working together to get something done. Think about a car engine or even your own body. It's all these separate components doing their job for one big overall purpose. And a computer system? It's that exact same idea, but with three very specific components. You've got the hardware, the physical stuff, you've got the software, the invisible instructions, and you've got the people, us. These three things are the pillars we're going to explore. So let's start with the one we're all most familiar with, the hardware. This is the body of the system, the stuff that we can actually see and touch. And yeah, it's pretty much as straightforward as it sounds. If you can pick it up, if you can plug it in, if it's sitting there on your desk, the monitor, the mouse, the tower itself, that's your hardware. It's the electronic and mechanical foundation for everything else. Now, this hardware kind of breaks down into a few big families. You've got your input devices to get information in, like your keyboard and mouse. And you've got your output devices to get information back out, like your monitor. But right at the core, that's where the real heavy lifting happens, the parts that do all the thinking and remembering, like the CPU, memory, and storage. So let's zoom in on the absolute heart of the machine, the CPU, the central processing unit. This thing is the computer's brain, and it's actually made of two very different parts that have to work together perfectly. So inside that CPU, there's a clear division of labor. On one side, you have the arithmetic and logic unit, the ALU. Think of it as a super fast calculator that handles all the math and logic. And on the other side, you have the control unit, or CU. This is the traffic cop, telling every other part what to do, when to do it, and where all the data needs to go.
But a brain, even one with a speedy calculator and a traffic cop, is useless if it doesn't have anything to think about. It needs a workspace and it needs a rulebook. And that's where memory comes in. Now, there are two main types here, RAM and ROM. Think of RAM as your desk. It's a temporary workspace. While you're working, it's covered in stuff, but as soon as you turn the power off, poof, the desk is clear. ROM, on the other hand, that's like a laminated instruction card with the startup rules. It's permanent, it's read-only, and it never ever gets wiped clean.
Okay, so we've got the body, the hardware, but a body without a mind? Well, it's just a collection of parts, isn't it? So now we have to talk about the brains of the operation, the software. Software is the ghost in the machine. You can't touch it, you can't feel it, but it is the set of instructions that tells the hardware how to be a word processor, or a web browser, or a video game. It's what brings all those physical parts to life.
And software isn't just one big blob either. It comes in two main flavors. First, you have system software, things like Windows or Mac OS. Its entire job is just to manage the computer itself. Then running on top of that, you have application software. These are the apps and programs we actually use every day to get our work done.
So this creates a really clear stack, a hierarchy. At the very bottom, you've got the physical hardware. It's the foundation. Then the system software sits on top, managing everything. And finally, at the very top, we use our application software as the tools to interact with the whole thing. Each layer absolutely depends on the one below it. So, we have the body and we have the brain, the hardware and the software. But there is one more piece to this puzzle. And honestly, without this last piece, the first two are totally useless. We need to talk about peopleware.
Peopleware, that's the term for us, the humans in the loop. See, we aren't just users of the system, we are an integral component of the system. We're the ones who give the hardware and the software a purpose, a reason to even exist in the first place.
And just like software, peopleware also comes in two main types. You've got the computer professionals. These are the programmers, the engineers, the analysts who design and build these incredible systems. And then you have the end users. That's most of us. The people using the computer as a tool to write an email, or scan an item at the store, or, learn something new.
All right, so we've deconstructed the computer system into its three core parts. We've looked at each one. Now, let's put it all back together and see how these pieces create one single functioning whole.
And here it is, the complete picture. It's not a pyramid with one part being more important. It's a true partnership. Hardware,
software, and peopleware are three equal, totally essential slices that make up the entire computer system.
You know, there's a quote from our source material that just says it all perfectly. A computer system is the combination of the hardware, the software, and the people who use it. It's not just the machine, it's everything working together.
And this really hammers home how much they all need each other. I mean, just think about it for a second. Software is totally useless without hardware to run on. Hardware is just an expensive paperweight without software to tell it what to do. And the whole thing, the entire system, is completely pointless without a person to give it a task and make sense of the results.
And so that brings us to the final thought I want to leave you with. When you look at these three components, the hardware, the software, and the peopleware, which one could the system actually live without? The answer, of course, is none of them. You take away any one piece and the whole system just falls apart. Something to think about the next time you power on your machine.